Year-old girl missing in Dundee for more than a fortnight has been found after turning up at school. Michaela Cantor vanished on April the 19th after being excluded from the city's St John's High School. The hunt for the teenager was stepped up this week when Tayside police enlisted the help of specialist sniffer dogs from a Welsh force. A search of the area where she was last seen had been due to get underway. Young men living in Scotland's most deprived areas and working in manual jobs are 32 times more likely to die violent deaths than people living in well-off areas. It's the first time that levels of violence have been measured in this way, and researchers from Glasgow University say alcohol linked to deprivation remains a serious problem. Well, our Home Affairs correspondent Riva Alderson's with me now. What's the significance of this research?
Well, we've known for some time, Sally, that men, and particularly young men, and particularly young men in deprived areas are most likely to suffer violent deaths. What this research shows is the scale of this social inequality. And those in disadvantaged areas are 32 times more likely to die violently than those in affluent parts of the country. And those in manual occupations, 12 times more likely than those in managerial jobs. Putting this all into context, the cost of violence to Scotland is a staggering £3 billion a year. That's measuring the cost of policing, of the NHS and lost productivity. Now, the researchers say that this shows the government must get a grip on deprivation, not just on the other things like alcohol, which cause violence. The Scottish Government says it is actually working to try to change the culture around violence and alcohol, and police say that alcohol and violence go hand in hand.
If you drive into, let's say in the west of Scotland, Bearsden, you'll find an independent wine retailer. If you drive into Easterhouse or Shettleston or Govan, you'll find off sales and off licences and supermarkets on almost every street corner selling alcohol at incredibly cheap prices. And that's where it's accessible. That's where young men go to buy it.
Seems a pretty bleak picture overall.
Well, overall it is, and that's the link between alcohol and poverty. But this research looked at homicides between 1980 and 2005. Since then, in fact, the murder rate in Scotland has started to go down, and in Strathclyde's police area, it's gone down by 30%. So there is some good news, but this study say the key to understanding all of the problems of violence starts with understanding poverty.
Rival, thank you. A man has died after a fire at a block of flats in Edinburgh. The alarm was raised just after 1 o'clock this morning at the building on Greendykes Road on the south side of the city. Firefighters took more than an hour to bring the blaze under control. An investigation is underway, though police say there are no suspicious circumstances. Patients having knee operations at a Glasgow hospital are being asked if they want to stay awake and watch a film during their operation instead of having a